Started. Greetings and welcome to our September Child Welfare and Attendance monthly call. I'm super excited to get started with you guys today. Let's get share my screen with you all. And so before we get started, a couple of housekeeping things. First, for those that are new to the call, my name is Shonika Adams Marcelone, and I am the Child Welfare and Attendance Liaison for the Louisiana Department of Education. It is my absolute privilege and joy to be with you guys this morning, simply because it is September. September, if you don't know, you're about to know, is Attendance Awareness Month. This is the month where I completely have so much fun. Love getting out of the office, love seeing what it is that you guys are doing out in the field to promote good attendance during, of course, during the entire year, but especially in September when this is a nationally recognized holiday. So before we get started, let's go over some So first, make sure that your phone or your smartphone or your computer is on mute. There will be an opportunity to unmute when we start discussions. Make sure you have your camera off, but when you're talking, please feel free to turn it on. But for bandwidth purposes, we will make sure our cameras are off, and put all your questions in the chat. And I'll check the chat periodically. As a matter of fact, let me open it up and move it over here so I can see it. And so today is our monthly call for September. It is September 7th. Super excited about this month. And so let's get started. Again, those that have just joined us today, make sure you put your name, your school, or the school system association in there. For those that are community partners, please add your organization as well as add the parish that you're supporting in the chat box. This webinar is being recorded, and slides are sent to you guys on the invitation to the next monthly call. You'll make sure you're muted throughout the presentation, but again, you'll have an opportunity to unmute. And at the conclusion, we definitely will have opportunity for dialogue. Remember, these webinars were created specifically for child welfare and attendance supervisors, directors, and all stakeholders across the state. As you guys that have been with me know, that we have been very transformative when it comes to this work. We're not holding on to it anymore. We're making sure those at the school level understand that they have a place at the table when it comes to this work. And not only schools, but our community. So please feel free to add those that you feel will benefit from this conversation or from this professional development time. You can share the invitation, make sure that they join us. Today's agenda, again, with our introductions, just go ahead and make sure your name and association and school system name, parish you support are in the chat box. We'll go over our monthly call purpose, have our morning inspiration and activity. Today's presentation, I'm super excited to talk about Louisiana data, and then we'll talk about some attendance awareness month initiatives that you could possibly be working on. And of course, I have some updates for you guys. So our monthly call, this year's theme, I'm super excited about because it's a shift. We talked about that shift last time, where for the first 2 years, we were really working on enrollment, engagement, and encouragement. And now we've transitioned to agency, belonging, and connection, because we want to, one, create a sense of agency, making sure that all stakeholders are informed and know what's happening, especially when it comes to data, when it comes to resources, but also belonging. We know when our kids in our schools feel like they belong, they're going to come. And of course, connections, when there is a connection made between students, faculty, the school, and the community, we won't have an attendance issue because we get to address those attendance barriers collectively. So the purpose of our monthly call is just to have this network where all stakeholders can come together to learn evidence-based best practices so that we can work together as a collective to bring attendance up in the state of Louisiana. Again, our monthly calls, this is always my shameless plug for new people. It is every first Thursday of the month now, and the link will be sent to you. If you're not on my distribution list, get on my distribution list. How do you get on my distribution list? Contact shelnika.adams@la.gov. Send me an email and let me know you want to be there. So today's morning inspiration, I am absolutely inspired by this video. It's something that I've used in the past. It's something that Attendance Works used during their sessions as well. And it has so many layers. And so what I want us to do is watch this video together, and then we'll have some activity questions to kind of learn from and see what we can come up with as a collective together. So let's watch it together.
Hey, Mr. Q. Did you see that? Why would somebody do that?
Please go into the classroom. No talking, quietly.
Hey, Miss Meredith. How you doing?
We need you inside.
How do you think that makes us feel? I forgot my number.
What's your name?
Jordan.
What's your last name?
Carter.
All right. Go ahead.
School is hard enough.
Come on in, sit down quietly at your desks, and begin writing.
This kind of stuff just makes it harder.
I said quietly, please. Who's talking? Is it you, Sophie? Don't let it be you.
Don't believe me?
Sophie.
Please just watch.
I'm not up here for me, I'm up here for you. Pay attention. Okay? Now somebody answer me. Somebody needs to answer me really fast.
Every time we're ignored or yelled at or silenced, the teacher takes away what's possible.
No horseplay, no running, and especially no talking.
Moment by moment.
Miss Garrity, your students' behavior yesterday in the lunchroom, it was terrible. Next time, silent lunch.
Did you hear that? Stay in line and catch a bubble. I'm not playing.
If this is education, we're in trouble. Bye, Miss McGarrity. Frederick Douglass said, once you learn to read, you'll be forever free. The way it is now, 2 of the 3 of us will never be able to really read. It doesn't have to be this way.
Hey, Jordan. How you doing? Good.
Everyone we meet throughout our day can make a difference.
I've been waiting for you to arrive.
All the difference.
Good, how are you?
Great.
Hi, Jordan. Bye, Jason.
Good morning, Jordan.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Good.
Go ahead and put your number in.
Talk with us, not at us.
That's okay. I'll look it up for you. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Okay.
All right. Have a
Teach us what we need to know.
good morning.
That's how we get smarter.
Well, good morning, Sophie, Janicia, and Jordan.
And when you talk with us and teach us, give us bigger and bigger words.
Now what I'd like you to do, children, is turn around and converse with your neighbor and discuss where the mother might have gone.
Words that we can use to read and understand.
She is prey for eagles, so she hunts at night.
And that will take us places we can never reach without you.
Remember, we're entering the learning zone. Now, how can we show our respect to the children and teachers who are working?
We can walk quietly.
Yes. Okay, kids, so what I'd like you to do is continue writing your narrative, documenting your emotions if you were the baby owl and your mother abandoned you in the nest.
What can you do? Learn all that you can so that you can challenge us to be our best.
You would have stayed and assisted them in whatever they needed.
Share yourself with us and show us how to share ourselves with others. Give us courage. Give us compassion. Help us find our own voices so we can become who we are meant to be. Why would you want to silence us?
All right, so that was our morning inspiration for today. I absolutely love that video. If it's a video that you would like to utilize in your presentations, please reach out to me and I'll send you a link for it. But let's get started. So utilize the chat or feel free to unmute. And let's talk about some things. First of all, what's happening in this video that may be a barrier to attendance for a student?
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Dr. Moore. I think from viewing the video, the negativism from all the adults, all the don't do, and the rudeness, I think that would be a barrier. That would be a turnoff for me as an adult. But when it changed from being so negative to the positivity, the kids became happier and was eager to learn.
Nice. Thank you. Anyone else want to share what they saw might be a barrier to attendance for a student? As Dix shared, students feeling ignored, negative school climate. Exactly. So what we want to I need you to understand as child welfare and attendance professionals, your work has everything to do with understanding school climate. Because when you get down to it and you're trying to really understand what are the barriers to attendance and they express things to you, you need to understand what the school culture is. So you can understand what that child is trying to convey to you or that parent. Someone shared, Dr. Samuel Williams says, there is a lack of compassion and or understanding. Exactly. What child was feeling connected at the beginning? It costs them nothing to give a child a smile. Exactly. It's a smile is free. I give them out all day. A lack of acceptance and feeling that they are not a part of the school. Exactly. Let's go to our next question. As we prepare for Attendance Awareness Month, who else should we target or empower other than students and families? As you think about that, when Tony LaFleur shared, a barrier was the off-putting lack of communication and soft skills. No one was being seen by any worker. That's so true. And also shared that other people that we should empower with this information is our parents and stakeholders, community members and churches, exactly, our teachers. Exactly. Our teachers can often be our first line of offense before the bell. Think about it. Teachers, exactly. Like I said, it's not just in the classroom. Our teachers are at the carpool line. And if they're having a bad day at the carpool line, imagine what kind of greeting they're giving a kid getting out that probably had a rough night themselves. I often share with you guys that we can't dictate or regulate or control the environment our kids come from, but we can certainly set the atmosphere and the tone for the school they walk into. And so crossing guards, oh yes, I think when I was in middle school, the crossing guard used to give me high fives. It just made my day. Administration, SROs, oh my goodness. I can't wait to someone invites me to come and talk to some SROs so we can talk about how they have an absolute role when it comes to attendance, but also making kids feel connected. Front office workers, yes. Oh my goodness, yes. Janitors and cafeteria staff. That is absolutely correct. You know why? Because sometimes our janitors and our cafeteria staff are our next door neighbors, our kids' next door neighbors. So they can tell you what's going on in the neighborhood before the kid even get there and have a bad day. So when we help them recognize that they have relevance in this work as well, and they should take ownership in this attendance work as well, they're gonna give us a little bit more information that we need to support our students and our families. Let's see here. Village, everybody. Yes, I often talk about village love. It's needed. A smile goes a long way. We have excellent SROs. Yes, I love it when we have excellent SROs, secretaries, and people working in the front office. Exactly. Let's go with our last question, which is, Attendance begins before a student even takes a seat in homeroom. In what ways can we acknowledge this train of thought? Oh, our behavior interventionist, that goes good too. What ways can we acknowledge that around our school campus if attendance begins before a student even takes a seat in homeroom? I think I shared it with the group how attendance starts at the bus stop. Think about when Jordan first got on the bus driver was like, whatever. That started his day. Greeting at the door. That is so empowering and so impactful. I absolutely love it when schools, the first week, they have all the upperclassmen greet the underclassmen every morning for a week just so that they got excited about coming to school and they were ready to jump out of their parents' cars because they felt like rock stars entering the school. Definitely can start with parents, wellness checks, positive calls, building the school home to home pipeline. I know some of you guys were super proactive over the summer. You had I spoke with a couple of you that downloaded your chronic absence from the previous semester and did home visits leading up into the school year, getting ready for the school year, so that they knew that you were there to support and it wasn't going to be oh, you was always missing, so we just making sure you know the date. It was, hey, we just wanted to come and check on you and let you know when school starts and find out if you need anything before the first day of school. And that really did go a long way with some parents, I know. Let's see here. On our chat, we have being aware of a student's presence, saying hello or good morning, wellness checks, positive calls, building the school building the school to home pipeline can start with parents as well. Meet and greets, home, ensuring students have safe at they're safe at the bus stop, greeted by the bus driver, duty teachers, and cafeteria workers prior to going to class. Regular check-in with the bus drivers who service the schools. Yes, they're sometimes more connected to students and parents. Exactly, and it starts at home. Going back to that bus driver thing, I think I shared with you guys. One of my family members, she is a phenomenal bus driver. She has a relationship with all of her kids, and she has like 50 kids on the bus. And she makes sure that each one of them is heard. She speaks to them every morning. She tells them every morning she loves them. And once a month, she buys them breakfast, and they don't know which day she's going to do it. So they try to show up. So it's like they're showing up just to get the breakfast, but they're eventually going to school anyway. But that was her way of connecting with her kids and also connecting with her village, her school, making sure that these kids were excited about getting on the bus, but also getting off, because when they get on at the end of the day, she's asking them about their day. So empower those people, your teachers, empower your bus drivers, empower your SROs, your cafeteria workers, because again, these people help us with making sure kids feel connected, ultimately helping us with our attendance. I certainly do appreciate you guys for participating with me today. And again, I already see some of the requests for the video. If this is something, an activity, I'll definitely share the questions so it can be thought-provoking for those that you do a presentation for as well. So today, again, super excited. We are going to discuss Louisiana attendance data. If you have not looked at it, we're going to look at it together, and I'll show you how to get to historical data if you don't know. And then we'll talk about Attendance Awareness Month. So first of all, I just want to check in the chat. Just shoot me a thumbs up or some kind of emoji. Who knows where to find the historical data on the Louisiana Believes website and who's used it? So it's a two-part question. You know how to find it and you've been there. All right, Dr. Murray, Mr. Roussel. Yes, Mr. Washington. That I'm telling y'all, there's some great information. Yes, Yes. These yeses aren't flowing like I need them to flow though. So what I'm going to do is definitely make sure you guys know how to get there. So I'm excited because this is I basically put the flow chart in here. You go to the Louisiana Believes website, which is louisianabelieves.com. Then you'll go to resources, then library, then school system attributes. I've added the link into the deck as well so you can see it. So I'll click it here just so we can go to it real quick. And as you can see, it tells you school discipline data, and that will be a presentation later this year because you guys already know how I feel. How we choose to discipline students often and always impacts their attendance. So you definitely want to make sure you're looking at your discipline data because that's also a part of your chronic absence equation. Remember, chronic absence is unexcused, excused, and suspension. Those are absences. Those are instructional minutes lost because they are not in their traditional school setting. You also see the student attendance data. What I'm super excited about is during this work, it was not even a battle, it was a request and it was met. When we started this work in 2021, we learned that instead of just focusing on truancy, we definitely need to focus on all absences because truancy was a symptom of chronic absence. And so truancy was just a symptom, and we needed to understand all absences. And so my first request was, hey, we need to be able to see the chronic absence numbers. It was out there on another web page, but we need to make sure that it's all with all of our attendance data. So as you can see, our chronic absence data is now listed, and you have some historical context because we have it for this year and last year. But also in the attendance, this is our average daily attendance rates block as well. So remember, our goal is 95% as a state, and you'll be able to look at your attendance data as well. I won't click anything because I don't want to show everyone's data. But as you can see the truancy data as well, dropout data, as well as your enrollment data is here as well. Again, you want to be able to look at this and click on it and utilize the Excel spreadsheets that open here. And you can actually pinpoint your specific sites in your school. So I will go to let's look at attendance rates. As you can see, it populates, and I already know right now our elementaries statewide is at a 93%, 93.6%. Our middle schools statewide, 93.1. Our high schools, 91. And our combination schools are 94. And our combined is a 92.9. So this is what I usually share with you guys, the combined. But what this tells me is we have to make a serious push when it comes to our high school population statewide. All right, let me close this out like this. And let's get back to our presentation. Now, do you know what attendance categories are beneficial to your work? And I just went over this. It's understanding your average daily attendance rate, your truancy, because that is still something we look at in Louisiana, and your chronic absence. Now, I don't want you to just focus on just truancy, like I said, and just chronic absence and just daily average. We have to look at them as a collective, but we need to also know how to break them down. I'm excited because I gotten a chance to meet with several SIS coordinators around the state. I've met with some CWAs, have made sure their SIS directors or SIS personnel were on our one-on-ones, so they knew exactly what it is we would be looking for. Make sure your SIS people are on this call so they understand our crazy when we're asking for it. So when we're looking at reports for guidance, what we want to be able to see is Truancy. We know in the state of Louisiana, our definition of truancy is 5 unexcused absences or 5 unexcused tardies. So a student is truant if they have 5 unexcused absences or 5 unexcused tardies. So if a student is truant due to tardies, they wouldn't have the same intervention you would utilize for a student that is missing 5 unexcused absences. So you can't really lump them up for intervention purposes. So it would actually be helpful when you're doing your deep dive in data to ask your SIS directors, hey, can you split this up for me if possible? I'd like to see all of my truant students, but I'd like to see those who are truant because of the days and those who are truant because of the tardies. Because the ones that are truant because of the tardies, I need to understand why they're getting to school late. What's happening to get them to school late? Is it a missed bus? Is it because that's something different other than I have a child that is 5 days missing because they hadn't turned in a parent note, because they were sick, or they hadn't shared with us their doctor's excuses because they were sick. So that's 2 different things. Also with our chronic absence. Currently, the state of Louisiana has the same definition of has the civil rights definition, which is 15 days or more. Then your student is defined as chronically absent. Well, for guidance, and what we've been doing since 2021 is looking at the USDOE definition, as well as what other states are doing, which is utilizing the 10%, which is 10% of the school year. And that has been our guidance. I want you to be able to ask your SIS director or personnel for both. You want to see how the state will see it, how it's being reported to the state, which is the 15 days, but you want to use it for guidance purposes. So from today, you should ask, hey, I'd like to see the kids that have been missing for 10% of the time since the start of school to today. Those will be your chronically absent students today. So you don't have to wait until they've already missed 15 days. And that's the reason why we would like to use that practice when it comes to this work. We don't want to wait for 15 days. We want to catch them. So if it's the first month of school, if they've missed 2 to 3 days, we are already contacting the family. And even if it's 3 excused absences and they're like, oh, we turned in our excuses, that's great. What it is we want to acknowledge is that your child still missed 3 days of school, which is 3 days of instructional time. And we want to know what it is we can do to support you in getting your child here. If it was a routine doctor's visit, did you know that can you find out if your doctor has Saturday visits? I know for a fact that I'm actually going around advocating for more Saturday visits for doctors' offices, because I do share that, you know, they're contributing to chronic absence. I love that. I just got called for my daughter's eye exam, and Ashna already knows, don't ask me for a doctor's visit before 3 o'clock. And it was so funny because she quickly changed it, so it must be a note. And she was like 3:30. So again, we just have to empower our families with information so that they can make decisions for their families. But you also want to know what it is you need to look for so that you can make a game plan for your systems or your schools. So again, the categories you want to look for are average daily attendance rates, truancy, and chronic absence. When it comes to breaking down those reports so that you can come up with better interventions, because again, when we look at attendance in Louisiana now, we're utilizing an MTSS lens. We want to make sure we have a tiered level system of support so that we can help our students address those barriers to attendance so that they can drop those labels and become successful. So here's some Louisiana data I wanted to share. So in 2020 to 2021, 21 to 22, and 22 to 23. I'm sharing this with you like this because hopefully it's a way that you would like to share with your leadership as well. When we talk about average daily attendance, remember, my ambitious goal for the state of Louisiana is 95%. And why is that important? Because we want 95% of our students to be at school 100% of the time. And that's ambitious, but also very realistic. because look how close we were here. As a matter of fact, when I did a deeper dive, we were sitting at 94 at some point. So it's very possible. Here, as you can see, we've had a decline, and there can be anecdotal things as to why there's a decline here, but I want you to be able to look at these numbers for your system and see what's happening. Our community partners, you need to be aware of these numbers. Why? Because what is it that you can do to assist your schools with promoting good attendance? Help us understand what it is you do in the community, and we can help you develop deliverables so that we can work in partnership to help our students collectively. When it comes to truancy in the state of Louisiana in 2020 to 2021, we were sitting at 40.7%, and it went up to 45 the previous school year. Now it's gone back down by almost 3%, which I'm super excited about. If you saw this week's weekly newsletter from Dr. Bromley, he gave you guys a shout out. He already knows that the CWAs have been doing the work and truancy has gone down. When we talk about chronic absence, Louisiana was sitting at 28%. This is where we started learning about chronic absence and ways to combat it. Super excited to have our LSU's social research and evaluation team on the call with us, because this is where we started discussing how are we going to address chronic absence. Well, they helped us develop that action plan workbook, Louisiana attendance action plan workbook. And again, that tool kit was sent to you guys. Make sure you're utilizing it to come up with ways, because it started to work. Look at that decline. We were the anomaly in the United States, 8%. And what you see here is it went up by 3.9, but was expected simply because during this time, our kindergartners noticed that our mandatory compulsory age changed. It dropped from 7 to 5. So we had some new parents trying to understand that kindergarten was not optional. And so what I want to share with you guys is when we start talking about Attendance Awareness Month, we want to make sure our new parents understand that when our kids are missing school, especially at kindergarten, it really does weigh on them going forward. The statistic that's out there, when our kids are not coming to school actively at kindergarten, when they're not regularly attending, by third grade, they're not on reading level. And that can be really, really impactful when it comes to our standardized testing. So, and their future. If they're not reading on grade level, that does something to them, not only academically, but socially as well. So again, I just want to share our historical data as a collective so that when you do your meetings with me and you're sharing me what your goal is, I would definitely like to see your historical context. I want to see what it is you started with in 2021 and where you want to be in 2024. So let's get into the good stuff. Attendance Awareness Month. Super excited about this because September is recognized as Attendance Awareness Month nationally. I learned about this when I took this position, and it's been super impactful. I know I definitely looked to attendance work and Hetty and her team. And one of the things that I was super excited about was that when it comes to attendance, we can't just leave it at the school climate. We have to make this a community event. We have to make this a family event when we talk about community, when we talk about Attendance Awareness Month. And what it does is it promotes good attendance and engagement. So it's not just about coming to school, but engaging students. And again, it should have that triad focus, which is student engagement, family engagement, and community engagement. Your tier 1 interventions can be used to celebrate and support. We talked about that when you start working on your plan for attendance, that tier 1 should be universal. So a universal activity can be like, hey, we had a 95% ADA at this particular school, and that school has a free dress day. That's a universal approach. You're looking at it and saying, everyone can benefit because we recognize this as a collective and we're not just pinpointing students. Last year, we had so much fun with attendance awareness. And so I wanted to put this out here so that you guys have ideas on how you can celebrate. You remember last year, we got Governor Edwards on board. We got him to sign a proclamation on last year proclaiming Attendance Awareness Month. I've already drafted a new proclamation, and I will make sure that gets out to you guys as well, so you can utilize them for your school board meetings. Even if your meeting has passed, it's something you can share with your school board so that they understand that you guys are being super proactive when it comes to attendance. Point Copy did this amazing blast on their social media talking about it, because they already know that parents are just like this on Facebook. So why not catch them when they scrolling? DeSoto got real active when they create those dashboards. Those dashboards are so fun simply because it gives a visual so when you put a dashboard on your school's website, you can show, be active. Hey, these are the numbers of students that are enrolled in our parish or our system, and this is how many are at school today. Or else talk about how our ADA was 94 last year and it's a 96 this year, and give kids a kudos. They like to see it. They're scrolling too. Love that St. James did an art contest last year, and I'm super excited because they sent me an invitation. Apparently there is a billboard in St. James Parish. I'm super excited to go and see it. Talking about attendance. So if you're doing something absolutely amazing, I would love to see it. Invite me to come. Because attendance matters. We know that we can't talk about graduation if we're not talking about attendance. We can't talk about LEAP scores increasing or getting better if we're not talking about attendance, because if they're not there, they're not learning. Let's see here. So what are some things that we can be talking about when it comes to Attendance Awareness Month? Again, Attendance Works. I have a link up here, but their website is super easy. It's just attendancework.org or .com, one of those. But I have the link here because they have an amazing, you don't have to recreate the wheel. You can actually come up with some flyers. I think I added one of their badges to the invitation to this call today. Of course, the Louisiana Attendance Alliance Toolkit, again, utilize it. Again, have poster contests. It is so simple. And you can also get the art teacher involved. Like, hey, can this be an art project where the kids are talking about attendance? So one, it's promoting good attendance, but two, also an engaging activity for kids while they're at school. Also, attendance certificates. If you don't have access to the certificates, please let me know. Send me an email and I'll make sure you get access to them. We still have, again, I send out digital certificates to you guys for you to utilize, but I would say hold on to those to your end of the year, not end of the year, but end of the semester and end of the year activities, because it's such a nice certificate. But consider doing something that recognizes, like, hey, for the month of September, for Attendance Awareness Month, you did not miss a day of school, or you missed only one day of school, and recognizing those students. Along with making sure that when you do certificates, it's not just about perfect and excellence, it's about improvement as well. As you know, when we created the certificates here at the state level for you guys to utilize, we had the perfect attendance for our kids that have missed no instructional time. We had the excellence in attendance for our kids that have missed less than 5 days, but we also had improvement in attendance. We want to recognize that when our kids are no longer chronically absent, that they've done something right, and we want to make sure it's acknowledged, because that way they stay on the right track. Also, award your schools. As child welfare and attendance professionals, you guys are looking at the data that's already before you. Run a report. Hey, do a contest. I got some pictures last year of, there's this huge trophy going around in one school where the teacher that had the 95% or better for ADA, the trophy was in their classroom. You can do that for your schools. Like, hey, this school had a 95% ADA, or this school had 10% or less chronic absence. That means that more of their kids are coming to school, and we want to recognize that. We want to recognize that principal for being engaging. We want to recognize that school leader or those teachers for doing what it is that they're doing, but also getting your community partners involved. I think we discussed when we talk about those attendance engagement activities, having a mixer at the end of the month where you can actually get community partners to sponsor ice cream or sponsor pizza or sponsor certain things, and not just make it about those that had came every day, but those that had made improvement in their attendance as well. So some of the ideas, we have the ice cream social or free dress pass. I think I shared with you guys last year, and I'll also send that out in a later email to you guys, some different ideas that you can do if you want to do something for the month, or if you just want to do a week activity, I'll send that out to you guys as well. So that is all I have for you today. I today wanted to be intentional about our time because I wanted us to have enough time to talk about data if you have questions. So I am opening up the floor for data questions, or if you have attendance questions, or if you want to share with us what it is you're doing for Attendance Awareness Month to give others some ideas. Okay, somebody says, where can I find those attendance medals? Ah, so glad you asked. So for those that are new, the attendance medals are something LDOE started last year. Our attendance medals are for graduating seniors. Not only do they receive a medal, gold for perfect attendance, and that's K or first grade through 12th grade. They haven't missed a day of school. And I'm super excited because Louisiana had quite a few last year. And it's not that they didn't miss school, they didn't miss any instructional time. Because we were dealing with COVID times, we had to understand that many of our students had to stay home, but they stayed engaged. They stayed learning, and they didn't miss any time because they made up for their time online, and their attendance was measured by their engagement, and we honored that. So the students that didn't miss any instructional time got gold medals and an honor cord. And our graduating seniors who had 5 or fewer excused absences received an honor cord and a silver medallion. And the gold medallion said perfect attendance, and the silver one says excellence in attendance. So again, our medals, and they are going to be shipped to you. So what will happen is what we did last year, it'll happen again this year. When you're putting in an order for your diplomas, there's going to be a little line at the bottom that asks you how many students are in your system for that will need a perfect attendance award, and how many will qualify for excellence in attendance. And I'll make sure, and we made sure that the criteria is listed as well. Some of you guys didn't quite understand, and what I want to help you is, if you have a combination school and you're K through 8, it's not something that you would be writing me for. But, and also if you're a charter high school that hasn't tracked your students' attendance from kindergarten or first grade, this isn't an award you would utilize. You would utilize our certificates if you'd like to honor your students that had perfect attendance. You would just utilize one of the certificates that I can send to you. Again, it's a digital one and you're able to print it, but it's already designed and it's signed by Dr. Bromley and the president of the Bessie board, and there's a signature space for your CWA as well. Do you have any other questions regarding the awards or data, or just attendance and awareness month initiatives? For high school guidance, 15 days correlates to how many absences per semester. Okay, so 15 days, when we're talking about the 15 days, that is your chronic absence. And that's just 15 days throughout the school year, not the semester. So that's the school year. They've missed 15 days, which is why we don't want to wait till 15 days. We want to look at 10%. So that way, if they've missed 10%, and even if it's into the, mind you, it's as we go. So the label will drop as the students' attendance gets better, which is different from truancy. Once they reach the label of truancy, they maintain that label. And so that's another reason why we want to start tracking chronic absence, so we can start catching students before they become truant. Should we pull 10% for the semester, or should we pull 5% for the semester and then 2 for the semester? No, we want to, your report should say, I want to see 10%, and not for the semester. I want to see 10% today. Again, you want, as the CWA, you don't want to wait till the end of the semester to see how many kids have, to see that you have students that have missed so many days. You want to work it periodically. I know I have some CWAs that are running the report weekly and some that are running reports bi-weekly. Whatever works best for you. If you're a small system and it's just you might want to just do it bi-weekly so that you're catching those students. Again, running the 10% as you go. Because one, if I catch the student at 10% and we're 4 weeks into school, we're a month into school, I can address that before they become truant. Versus waiting until they've missed 15 days or waiting until the end of the semester. All right. Any other questions? Again, this is us being proactive. I think that's what helped us with getting our chronic absence rate down when we first started this work, is we were being proactive, and we want to continue that, being proactive. We want to continue going out, and we want to continue sharing why this is important, not waiting for students to become truant, but acknowledging that all absences contribute to learning loss, and educating not only our families with that knowledge, but our community and our community leaders, so that they can help us with coming up with ways to keep students engaged and promoting good attendance throughout. All right, we don't have any other questions. Let's see here. So our next child welfare and attendance monthly call will be October 5th. Super excited about that, because we will have a visitor join us for professional development. It will be School Innovations and Achievement. They will do a presentation for us. I've also invited them to be a part of our virtual resource fair as well. Again, making sure that you guys have access to as many tools and resources as possible. Again, I only invite those who can provide statewide capacity, meaning they can service not only the biggest district, but our smallest charter school as well. So again, next month we will have a guest speaker on our monthly call. They'll be coming from School Innovations and Achievement. Again, I'm constantly out there looking for resources that promote good attendance and help you in the work that you're doing for not only promoting good attendance, but engagement as well. So some updates. Again, it's Attendance Awareness Month. That's why I got the tie on, got the suit on, because I'm excited. It's a party over here in my office. I know my teammates around here probably think I'm crazy, but I'm excited. Excited about some of the visits I have coming up as well. If you have a visit or you'd like to schedule a visit, you already know, send me 3 dates, 3 times, and I will schedule a meeting. And if it's within my power, I will actually make it a face-to-face, because I love getting out of the office and seeing you guys and helping you come up with some of those attendance initiatives, but also being able to, you're able to share with me what the school culture is like, or share with me what's your thought process and how you want to address attendance. I've also been able to get out and just be a part of some of your meetings that you're having with leadership, so that one, if you need some support and helping them understand this work and why you're asking for so many reports, that's what I'm here for. So just let me know. Again, Attendance Works training. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. We've had amazing trainings. The last 4 groups were awesome. Super excited when you guys had your whole school, whole team on. Shout out to Zachary Community Schools. They had Rollins Place. Their whole entire people were on one call. Shout out to a couple of other districts that we saw. I'm excited about groups 5 and 6 because they're our combination group. So if you didn't get a chance or get your principals, remember, this is school level. So CWA's already got their training. This training is for school level and it's already been taken care of. You just need to get them to register. So send that flyer to your principals and have them register their team. And this is for combinations, or if they didn't get a chance to be a part of groups 1 through 4, this is their opportunity to join a group, but also our virtual schools, because attendance at virtual school matters as well. This is an opportunity for our virtual schools and our virtual charters to get on and be a part of that training as well. Again, if you're not on my distribution list and you have not received that flyer to register for that training, please reach out to me at shalnika.adams@la.gov, and I'll make sure you get that flyer so that you can send it to your school level teams. Again, we don't want to focus on having a trickle down effect anymore. We want to make sure those that are supposed to know this information, that it will benefit, that they will get it. Because if we're sharing that our teachers, our bus drivers, our counselors, our cafeteria workers, if they're a part of your attendance team, then you definitely want them to understand what it is we're talking about so that they can be a part of this training. It's virtual. And it's once a week and it's starting on September 7th. So groups 5 and 6 will start September 7th. Also, the International Association for Truancy Dropout Prevention annual conference is coming up. It's absolutely amazing. And this year it's going to be October 15th through the 18th in San Antonio, Texas at Drury Plaza. Again, this is your opportunity. If you are a hearing officer or you have hearing officers that have not received training or need a refresher, this is their opportunity to get it because they offer it at the conference annually there. So again, the link to register is in the deck, as well as in the invitation that I sent to you, and I will continue to send the registration link up until October when the actual conference occurs. Let's see here. We have a couple of things in here. Oh, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. I'd like more information regarding the attendance medals. Also, if you want more information, shoot me an email. Again, shanika.adams@la.gov, and I will respond to your email. Or else, if you want to talk, feel free to send me 3 dates 3 times, and I will send you a message. Or just say, give me a quick call, and I'll give you a quick call. Again, thank you guys so much for your time. It is 8:58. I yield 32 minutes back to you because why? You deserve it. It's attendance awareness month. And what better way to celebrate it than to get some of your time back, reclaim it. Thank you. If you have not heard it today, you're absolutely appreciated. The work you do matters. It has mattered. It is being acknowledged. Super excited about things to come for Louisiana because of the work that you've been doing. Not only has Dr. Brumley recognized your work, but it is being recognized nationally. So again, I appreciate you. I salute you. And again, thank you for your support. And thank you for supporting the families and students here in Louisiana. You guys have a great day. Thank you. And I will stay on. Let me stop our recording.